Welcome to the Fire Redux, a modern day HOI4 submod for the Fire Rises. I've been playing a lot of Redux mods recently, and that's because they add content to regions that don't have content. And in this case, for today, we are playing as Brazil. That's a recent new update for the submod. In the Fire Rises, Brazil is just kinda there. I think that saying can just be used for the entirety of South America. They just exist. So hopefully this submod can bring more life to the region. As you can see on this tab, there's just 1 1/3 nations. I don't know if I can really call Argentina and Venezuela fully fledged added content yet. I'm curious what they have planned in store for Maduro. This could be really fun with the oil crisis and all. Before we begin, I saw a lot of recommendations in the comment section for me to play OF. I don't really know what OF is. I think it's referring to OnlyFans. But unfortunately, if they were, I just quit that recently. I accidentally sniffed Bonnie Blue's radioactive fart, and now I look like the Green Goblin from The Amazing Spider-Man 2. It's not a great look. So, you cannot subscribe to my OnlyFans, but you can subscribe to my YouTube. It's completely free, just like this HOI4 submod. The Federative Republic of Brazil, the biggest economy in Latin America, and the second largest economy in the Americas, only below the behemoth that is the US. Brazil has always been viewed as a nation full of potential. Unfortunately, that's all there's ever been. Potential. He's starting to sound like the potential man. With the entire world at brink, the nation faces tough challenges ahead, but also plenty of opportunities. Could this finally be the time for Brazil to rise up and become the power of the future? Right now there's 2 paths to play as, the national government of Brazil and the Brazilian legalist army. I don't really know the differences, so I don't really care about who I'm picking. Brazil is not for amateurs. Okay. I know the Fire Rises like the back of my hand. Brazil is 100% going to end up in a civil war, so I don't think I want to even bother making my army. I'll just create 2 small ones like this. Besides that, I think most people can agree when I say that South America is the least fun region in the game, and that's just mainly because the terrain. The Amazon is a maze meant to psychologically torture you. If you like playing in here, I'm sorry, but are you perhaps a psychopath? The south is probably a lot more fun because there's more plains. However, Brazil exists, so if I can just enter the minds of the devs, they want Brazil to collapse, so there's a much bigger balance of power. Let's balkanize South America and make it great again. Here's our current national spirits, the legacy of the 2010s, stability buffs, monthly society, I have a minus development, everything. I'm actually getting an academic development and agricultural development, just not poverty, no military, and no society development. Even if you are Christ reborn to govern this land, no matter how much of a saint you may be, you will still be forced to govern with Satan by your side. They're making it sound like that's a negative. I thought the whole point of this was to make the fire rise. That's why people play this mod. The Brazilian agricultural business is very reliant and as sensitive to the world's market's fluctuations. Should any event of cataclysmic proportions take place, this will spell doom for the sector, and perhaps the country, so keep the MST and SCP at bay. And most important of all, keep the sector running. What can I even do? Everything's restricted. And I think, yeah, remember how there were 2 paths? One military one and one just following the state of Brazil? I don't really like using the Congress. I have the reading comprehension of a 5-year-old, and you know what those people do best? Military coups. That's the path I'm going with. Got it. Oh, we actually start with 9 military factories. That's good. And 49 civilian factories. Yeah, that's really good. That's more than Germany. But there's no way we're keeping it. That's the country setup. Do we start with liquidity? Oh, we're losing 80 billion per day. Per month. Million. Billion. I can't fucking count either. Scientists have warned that if the total amount of preserved jungle were to fall under 70%, we risk crossing a point of no return. Should the Amazonian jungle collapse, the consequences could be disastrous for ourselves and our neighbors. Like we care about them. You don't have to lie to me. I can predict your every thought like Nostradamus. And even if we did, the consequences won't just happen in a year or something. So we might just get political nerves that hinder our actions. Because I do have to keep mining it to buff my agricultural business. And mining was it. Oh, what's this? The Fire Combat plus Fix AI tweaking test. This mod is trying to alter the AI training templates and priority. Highly difficult where AI will get an OP unit every 180 days. Specifically, there are two tiers, major and minor. I don't like the AI cheating. There has to be a middle ground between making the AI smart, instead of just making them cheat to make them stronger. It's just like making the enemies have more health in RPGs. Just making them a sponge for damage. It's just not fun. It just takes longer. Our agenda to restore morality and security to the country has ample support from the population. This is our mission, and the mission given is a mission accomplished. A pretty short focus tree, but it's going to expand. Maybe that's how long until the civil war starts? Let's preserve some of the Amazonian jungle with our liquidity. I'm something of a preservist myself. The shadow of the sun. He would have to become the legend they believed in, to shoulder the hope of a nation and transform it back into something real. The final battle was not for his freedom, but for the very meaning of Brazil. They do not need a man, they need a compass, and I must point to the truth. And they say Shakespeare's dead. An Amazonian intervention operation. Are we shooting the trees? They're in the trees! Oh, this is new. Argentine streets are stirring. Just some protests, and their leader is just happy to be there. Oh, there's an event for COVID-19. Better call the press already, Bruno. The major threw his hands in the air. Damn it! He had to be in my city? Shit. Look at that eloquent vocabulary. That's the major I want in my town. Cancel Carnival? Are you out of your mind? And this will unlock new focuses. Let's declare emergency lockdowns. That's gonna fuck up my economy, I'm pretty sure. The coming flu can wait. What is that image? Is that Plague Inc? I mean, there's nothing else I can do with my political power. Oh, we're actually managing this like Plague Inc. There's currently 17,000 infected. This may very well lead to a civilizational ending, which will surely destroy Brazil's ability to be a functioning state in the world. Hold on, why is the virus mutating in Brazil? Moro is resigning because of the President Bolsonaro's repeated attempts at political interference in the federal police. Right now I have two options. I can either enlist more people to combat COVID, by basically locking them down in the military hospitals, and then using our newly enlisted men to quote-unquote contain the chaos. And then the other option is to give a lot of money to mad scientists, which sounds more fun. Of course, it wouldn't be a HOI4 mod without juggling 10 minigames and 10 decisions at once like a full-time job. Issue minor lockdowns. Oh, only one at once? Okay, not that bad though, not that bad. Yeah, I can do nothing else with my political power. And the Founders Farewell. I've been getting some of these events, I haven't been reading them. I think they're about each party. This is about the market liberalists. I have to keep the panic at a medium level. If it's too high, then they're all gonna go batshit insane. And if it's too low, they're going to act like horror movie protagonists. 1 year until I get the vaccine. That removes some months from the vaccine. I mean, I'll do it now, I won't have a use for it later. To do this one, I have to have researched the COVID-19 vaccine, so I'm done already. Now it's time to either play as the president or work on my economy. The Brazilian agro I heard was very important, so I want to keep it going. We have an agricultural sector worthy of the respect it rightfully deserves. How is Argentina doing? Let's check on our buddy. Minus 17 stability, they're worse off than us. But they actually start with an equal amount of factories. Also, Brazil isn't that strong then. Am I stupid or something? Brazilian GDP, 2.6 trillion. Argentina GDP, 680 billion. I was expecting Brazil to be a lot stronger. Maybe it's just balancing reasons. You know what? I'm just gonna trust the devs with my life. If there's 3 people I trust with my life, it's my barber, my mom, and my favorite HOI4 mod developer. Let's play the president and make some reasonable arguments about why they should support me as I expand agricultural business. Also, we're gonna have a gun ownership legalization soon, and the oil crisis hits Brazil. Congress approves law flexibilizing gun ownership. Critics argue that passing this law at a time of such civil unrest is a serious mistake that could lead to an increase in the already growing number of cases of political violence in the country. Isn't that what we want? Nice, thanks to that I can now make some new decisions. I can protect our mothers, I can give out land deeds, that's good for the economy. That does give me monthly farming development. That's such an important modifier. I need the resource gain efficiency. I'm already running out of resources with 9 factories. Remember who's slipping those fat 100 bills into your pockets? Me. Therefore, you support me. Crippling COVID severity. Yeah, that could have happened. Reports on increased political activity. The sale of firearms and their instrumentalization has skyrocketed throughout the country in the last few months. The Free Brazil movement. In the wake of the 2014 World Cup protests. Oh, 7-1 was that devastating, huh? A democratic third way, explicitly rejecting the administrations of both Lula and Bolsonaro. We also have the Communist Party, first the base, then the war. Let's worry about that later. In one day we get the vaccines. The COVID trials? Among the main focuses of the investigations are delays in the purchase of vaccines, the promotion of medications without proven effectiveness. Yeah, we were doing that, weren't we? How effectively have you fought against COVID? I'm going to be failing. Daniel Albuquerque begins to interpret the party's laborious legacy through a distinctly Marxist lens. Okay, Brazil. The Brazilian Integralist Front, so these are going to be members of the Civil War. What? The COVID trials are in 30 days? I didn't know this would happen immediately. And now I got a guy just judging me. Oh, I'm about to get the guillotine, am I not? Did I misuse funds? I hope I didn't. The Senate Oh, favorable. I love gambling. Senate concludes COVID CPI investigations. The international workers' movements in Brazil. How many communist parties are there? Here's all the radical factions that are about to appear. I was already not that deep into South American politics, but this is just way too esoteric for me. What am I looking at? The third pure command, and we have a flag of Israel. Another 10 trillion to Israel or something. The state takes little notice, treating their activities as a routine organized crime. Future prediction for when this mod gets updated. That's going to be the most schizopath in this game. What do I want next? Academic or military development? Right now I need a monthly military development. Now I have only severe COVID severity. The death of my agribusiness. I was keeping that up. But Wall Street is inevitable. The United States was one of its main trading partners. With America out of the way, the collapse of the entire trade chain has begun. Yeah, minus 6% monthly farming developments. The longer I put that off, the worse it gets. The Sigma has 3 points but only 1 center. We have to be scared of those alpha males. I need to also get more political power gain and stability. Let's lower the age of criminal responsibility. Is there monthly development? Yeah, there's monthly society development. Not what I want, but I can take it. Oh no, the agro collapse. The peasantry are protesting against the landowners due to increasingly low salaries and working conditions. Oh, I thought this said mobilize vacation workers. I thought, oh, what does that mean? But it's mobilize vaccination workers. And that removes 30 days from COVID goes away. Oh, the lag. The Second American Civil War. What am I fucking reading? Then we seek foreign aid. And get back our monthly farming development. Don't collapse, don't collapse, don't collapse. Okay, but I have to say, before we continue, I think I like this submod so far, but I haven't really reached the climax. I haven't done the war yet. But right now, the submod is just a visual novel with no payoff. All these interesting factions that don't really serve any purpose, because you can't play as them. It's good lore building, but too much for me. The third pure command has broken out. We are reaching the end of the state. We no longer get the effects of the worldwide financial crisis. When did this happen? It just appeared. I had no decisions to combat, it just appeared. I've been too busy working on my farming. Finally, I need 300 support in the Congress to continue the last focus, which is an amazing one. Political power gain, stability and more support, and monthly expense growth. We are losing half our conservative support. The PRTB becomes the ruling party. Oh, he got mad. And we can modify Brazil above all. The 2022 elections are approaching. I'm guessing that's our end goal then. It will sure be one to remember. The entire political climate is just a bunch of radicalists. The elections begin! No! They removed the best focus I was currently doing. I couldn't even fix the oil crisis in time either. The legend deserves a second term, or Jair must be stopped at all costs. Jair Messias Bolsonaro, the incumbent president of the republic and known for his populist rhetoric, similar to that of Donald Trump, leads the Brazilian Patriotic Alliance, a coalition of various right-wing and far-right parties. And then we have the moderate leftists, the labor unions, and the social movements. I was going more for the radical route this game, so let's go for the Patriotic Alliance. Come on, Bolsonaro. I've been with you since day one. Bolsonaro will save Brazil once again from the abyss. There's nothing I can do to affect the elections except just do the focus. But my minigame. What about my minigame? The final results glowed on the screen, a predictable, sobering tally. 6th place. And now they're gonna cheat by supporting my opponent. The nation weakened after the 3 great crises, waits exhausted, divided, tense, and holding its breath. For this will not be an ordinary election, but the reckoning of the Brazilian population. They could not believe it. Bolsonaro had led the first round with ease. He had the momentum, the people in the streets, the flag on every corner, and yet, somehow, the numbers betrayed him. To them, it was clear: fraud, manipulation, sabotage. How can a man of the people, supported by God himself, what are we talking about, lose to corrupt elites and communists? It was a theft of Brazil's destiny. Lula da Silva elected in Brazil. Don't be so quick to call that. Organize a meeting with the armed forces commanders. We are not letting this happen. They were accusing Lula of being a corrupt thief and claiming the elections had been rigged to secure the Petistas' victory. They weren't lying about this being similar to Trump. A new mercenary state had been formed in the corpse of Brazil, and the ambitions of the new eagle now seemed endless. I'm starting to reach unrecoverable levels of debt here. I need the civil war to happen now. Assemble the emergency meeting. Modify the 2022 election protests. Okay, we like to see that. They try to silence the voice of a hopeful country. Try to extinguish the light that made us believe again that Brazil still has a chance. And then they failed. There are reasons to believe that the election results were tampered with, interjects General and Minister of Defense Braga Neto. The Navy will be at your disposal for any course of action you decide to take, Mr. President. But not the armed forces. I don't have any use for the Navy. I need the other guys. Come on, they will come around eventually. What is this great idea of yours? Come on, spit it out already, Walter. Mr. President, Walter began, in a tone strangely solemn for a man typically so crude. The plan is... well, it's better if you just read it yourself. Jair positioned his glasses on the tip of his nose to read the document handed to him. Written in military codes and abbreviations that Bolsonaro hadn't read in a long time, was a detailed plan for the neutralization of the president-elect and vice president-elect, Supreme Court justices, and ideological opponents. We are going there, aren't we? Contingency plans, necessary equipment, estimated casualties. Everything was foreseen and in place. The final objective: to drive the country to the brink of chaos to justify a state of siege. I'm ready. Let's let the military gain some more influence. Let's secure alliances and finally form a steadfast opposition bloc. A honorable transition of power. And then Lula da Silva becomes the ruling party. Or what's their party name? Federation for Brazil of Hope. Yeah, that's not gonna happen today. Or tomorrow. Or for the next 40 days. Surely this gets cancelled and the civil war kicks off. Exactly, okay. The green and yellow dagger, did we kill him? Da Silva and Alexander de Moraes is missing. Geraldo Alckmin assassinated. What the hell is this? Who the fuck did this? That was Santa Claus delivering me a present. And now, something has been done. Bolsonaro declares military intervention. Order will be restored. The Brazilian Congress will be suspended until the situation is normalized. President Jair Bolsonaro declared a nationwide military intervention, citing serious threats to institutional stability, public order, and the integrity of the Brazilian people. The other parties denounced the decree as a clear attempt at a self-coup, accusing Bolsonaro of leading the country toward a return to dictatorship. I don't know what they're talking. Oh, that's a nice color. In the hours following the announcement of military intervention after Operation Punhal Verde e Amarelo, Brazil plunged into chaos. Massive demonstrations in support of Lula, Alckmin, and Alexander de Moraes. State of siege declared. Following Jair Messias Bolsonaro's defeat in the elections, allegations of... Yeah, we know this already. The National Salvation Act 1, establishing a state of siege throughout the country and allowing the army to police Brazilian territory. My entire army disappeared! What do I even have left? Bolsonaro changed his profile picture again. It looks like he has aged 10 years in one day. The National Salvation Act 2 is signed. Our government type will be changed to a provisional government, and all political federations other than the APB will be suspended. All true defenders of Brazil, the true patriots, whether they be from the armed forces, the judiciary, the civil service, or the broad Brazilian people, must resist this usurpation of democracy. This act of the highest level of treason. Bolsonaro does not represent Brazil, does not represent the people, and does not represent the army. He who betrays his nation pays the bitterest price. So that's the other path that you can pick. And right now they look much stronger than me, if I'm being honest. The march on Fortaleza. Fortaleza becomes a demilitarized zone. The city burns while armies clash in the ashes. There are so many demilitarized zones that are happening. The military zones are collapsing. It was only a matter of time before the military zones began to succumb to the pressure of millions of armed and violent citizens. Then, in an attempt to contain the protests, the military found themselves with no option but to begin firing on their own countrymen, leading to hundreds of deaths and thousands of injuries in a few days. This obviously did not help. Yeah, you don't say. They can't really tank the bullets. Usually people die from that. We do have 30% legitimacy, despite everything. The United Nations missions in the Amazon. Are they actually doing something? Report on the structural collapse of the Northeastern Military Command. So the legalist army isn't that strong. They just took a fat dump of their stable nation. Now they're even weaker than me. Just look at all of these factions. I've never seen something so balkanized before. I will just have to wait until the south is done. Here it is. Oh, it's even worse. This is even smaller. If you thought Game of Thrones was complicated, well, allow me to introduce to you Brazil. 10 seasons of political intrigue, summarized in 3 years. Why do we have a desert fox in our army? Where did you get your degree? Brother, what can you even do? The legalist army rebels. Maybe they're our first opponent? Okay. Oh, he took my... I just promoted them. I guess we're changing up again. You keep your stupid desert fox. The Brazilian nation will never be the same again. We complete the focus, the south burns. Oh no, we do declare on the legalist army first of all. Let's border them. So this is like Biden versus Trump in the American Civil War. Let's have some more military influence, which I don't really know what that means. Add one off-map military factory, just what we need. Let's prepare for the worst. 50 billion liquidity. That doesn't seem like a lot, but considering we have just 17 billion debt, that is insane. Even though peace is the desired outcome, war is still the most likely scenario. What happened to my country, he wonders. If this entire, war thing fails, we can just use the excuse we had amnesia this entire time. That'll make them forgive me. It wasn't my fault. I just forgot. That just makes me human. How is the legalist army gonna fight back? I can finally change my laws. What I need is more stability and political power to change that stability. So let's get some minority expulsion. Why is that such a good law? We're gonna declare war in 19 days. But this focus just makes me completely annex the Brazilian legalist army. That's bait. This is bait. Haha, funny joke, devs. Funny joke. Yeah, this is inevitable. Oh, that's a big... Oh, nice. That's a big focus tree. Lovely. I thought it was gonna be pretty small, but it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Just like when I get hard. It kinda surprises you sometimes. The blade is no longer pointed at the heart. The thrust has begun. That was a really bad timing to talk about that. Wait, why can't I still do the focus? It should cancel now. Yeah, okay. How dare you? How dare you bait me like that? I could see it coming from a mile away, but it still sucks. Now let's just battle plan. That should really be all we have to do. Maybe I'll try to do some encirclements. The South burns and the Brazilian Civil War. Let's create 4 Patriot volunteers. And thanks to me getting liquidity, we can buy things from the small arms market and the vehicle market. What other mission do I have? I cannot do them at once, so I'll just recruit some more volunteers. Fortify Brasilia, meet with the landowners. Stability, political power, and construction speed growth. And money. I need more money. More money means that I can buy more guns. That should be an option for every country, in my opinion. There's really not that much use for having liquidity. Otherwise, once you're above the debt, the liquidity means nothing because you can't really use it. This should be it now. I was not expecting the legalist army to still be standing. 2... I'll do 2. And I can get my weekly war support and weekly stability. That's going to be so helpful. Right now I'm at 38 stability. The earlier I get that modifier, the better. Okay, we got another encirclement. Just gotta keep on moving. What's next? Infrastructure, construction speed, more resources. Oh my god. National economic policy. More monthly development or an insane consumer goods factor. Minus 25%. Or just a shit ton of stability. I won't really have a use for the modifier because I'm about to get over 50 stability. Let's just take the amazing consumer goods factor. And get, why did you just avoid their capital like the plague? You were just there. You were just about to achieve greatness and you just left the capital. He did it, I can't believe it. He did it again. He did it again. I looked away for 1 second. And he just left that capital. Remind me to fire him later on. Empower the high command, brief the captains. I'm just getting more and more volunteers. Can I get any more? I can get 2 more volunteers. Or patriot units. And the final encirclement. Good. Okay, that's the war's pretty much over now. Consider this a teaser for what is to come in the future. You sure? I'm down for it. Show me what you can do. Then we of course brief the captains so we can get the... No... Doctrine cost reduction first. I have a ton of army experience. The best of the best. I am entrusting you with the most important task of your lives. I don't care how much stress, how much work, or how much suffering you go through. Failure is not an option. What now? Do we just wait until we declare on the other ones? Or is that in the focus? It's down here that we're able to declare on someone. And since I have over 40% influence in the military faction, we can do that path. Not the other ones though, unfortunately. But first, let's work on the farming. My agricultural sector is about to reach the max level. I think I can core 1 state now. I can core 2 states. And I get some extra legitimacy. I should start making better divisions, I just can't train them. Poverty development needs to be fixed too. That is in the negatives. What's this? Yeah, this is the poverty development, which I need to fix right now. Oh my god, wait a moment. What is this fertile land god's land modifier? 5% monthly farming development? Oh, so if I picked the right option, that would have been propaganda for my industry. Nah, we care about our farming. Oh, here it is. Someone declared on us, actually. Good. I didn't have to justify myself. They have 13 divisions. Good luck. I'll do some encirclements so it makes it a bit easier, but I'll still do 5 speed. I'm gonna pick our glorious heroes and then my children. Or die children. They're not mine. I'm not a dad. And then we'll start declaring on everyone. So let's start gathering up our army again. Oh, I didn't even have to do it. Who's declaring on me? The Brazilian National Liberation Front. They actually have some manpower. They don't even have enough divisions to cover the front. What are they doing? And at the same time, they declare on the UN. And as you can see, we are completely demolishing them. Allow me to declare on you all. Bolsonaro just got happy. Is that a sanity meter? He's been changing his profile picture a lot. And all of this is buffing my military, obviously. Before that, I should reduce the doctrine cost. By minus 50%, I can't afford anything at all. Intervene against the Constitutional Republic of Sao Paulo, the Communist Party of Brazil, or the Just Brazil Alliance. My entire military consists of militia, so I will keep going down asymmetric warfare and get light assault. If I neighbor all the commands, I can invite them to become puppets of me. That's 30% towards the presidential office, which has the modifiers I want. I don't want to buff my military by that much. I'm not that crazy. I don't need to bring a nuke to every conflict. I can call the UN into my faction, which makes me join 2 of their wars. One on the Amazon and one against the state of Roraima. I had to tilt my head. Let's call them to our side. 15 days. And let's border up. They had no divisions on my front because I didn't have my troops there yet. The state of Roraima is gonna be a bit harder. While we're in the middle of doing that, I'll attack the Union of Chingu people. 50 stability! 50 war support in one focus. Empowered presidential office. What's the other one? Not even this, that's not even in the similar ballpark. A minus 10% bonus. Our president is just that guy. Our government type will be changed to a presidential dictatorship. And where's the Just Brazil Alliance? Is that in the south? That's in the south. Oh, I can't read! This decision will allow us to train divisions, but they haven't really been necessary at all. I'd actually recommend you not to train divisions, because there's just so many you can train for free here with equipment. Just spend political power. What now? Intervene against South is my country. Now we have reached the point of bullying. Buy the shield and sword. The Brazilian Civil War will be over. Captain, Captain Myth, the shouts increase. The crowds in pure euphoria as they wave the country's flags, echoing Jar's name. Shouting, long live. Thank you for playing the Fire Redux. I'd say I enjoyed this, but I really wish there was more content. Maybe in the future. For after you're done with the Civil War. I mean, I still have some focuses left. Not my intelligence, half of my army focus. I didn't even use planes. I just raw dogged with my militias and it worked brilliantly. Oh, what the hell? Healing a broken nation and we add depleted military, uncontrolled society and severe mongrel complex? They're trying to ruin my fun! And the debt from the old nation. What the no. I think that's the same as the USA where you get embargoed if you say no. Which, I went full in on resource gain efficiency, so I don't care. I'm self-sufficient.